Beloved heart, I invite you to sign up to my mailing list, and as a result of signing up, you will get a free gift. It's a 5D rebalance tune up of all these chakras, and chakras are my specialty. So I would love to gift you with this transmission that is filled with light language and codes to help you stay balanced and tuned up during these increased frequencies of energy of this ascension, this new earth frequency. So check out the links in the notes of this show. And I look forward to connecting with you. I am sending you love. This is the transfiguration of the new you. Hello, beloved. I'm Monica Bermudez. I'm your host for your podcast, Ascended Earth. Welcome back. And we have a very special guest here with us, Jonathan Robinson. He is a certified hypnotherapist specializing in past life regression, guiding clients to access subconscious mind for healing, clarity, and transformation. So, all the things that I really love to talk about and that we all love, actually, for those listening and who resonate with this. So, welcome, Jonathan, to my podcast and our podcast here and sharing some of your messages on past life regression. I have so many things that I want to ask you. So, if you could just share a little more about yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so honored to be here with all the listeners. And for those of you who haven't heard me before, my name is Jonathan, Journeys into Past Lives, and mostly on Instagram. But I do past life regression. So I help people access their past life memories that we seem to have forgotten when we incarnate here on Earth School. And a lot of times, past life journeys take us into challenges and trauma. It can also reveal hidden talents. Secrets give us confidence moving forward. And every session is really unique and special. So I've been doing this about 5 years, and I have about 1,000 sessions from people all over the world. I'm so
Wow.
honored to help so many people from all different cultures. And, there's so many spiritual people out there. We're all just spread out. So
Mhm.
for us to join a community or get together like these podcasts is brings
Yeah.
so much hope and enlightenment to so many people. So thank you.
Well, so excited to have you here with us and talk more about this. So, what drew you into hypnotherapy and past life regression?
I've always wondered the big picture questions in life, like what happens after we die and what's our purpose. And hypnotherapy was really special to me because after my first session, I won my first disc golf tournament. I was the top salesperson in my company for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And some other, really good things happened. And I'm like, wow, that was just from the one session. And it unlocked parts of my mind that had
Mm-hmm.
limiting beliefs. And so it was really, really powerful. And then I started learning about what happens after we die with past life regression. Michael Newton, Dolores Cannon are big past life authors. And I thought it was so fascinating that you can remember things before this lifetime. And
Yeah.
it didn't make sense to me, and I still find it super fascinating. But when we tap into that frequency, the theta frequency, we can access past life memories that our soul carries over from lifetime to lifetime. And just helping more people with this, spreading the word, I think it helps raise people's vibrations and makes the world a better place.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Um, so was there a defining moment in your own life or past life experience that set you on this path? Besides like doing that session, was that your turning point?
That was a big one. For every healer, I think there's a journey, a healing journey that we go on. And for me, I had a few things. One was in my late 20s, I had really bad back pain, and I went to the doctor and they told me to get surgery and take pills in a few years. I fired them immediately and I hired a yoga therapist, strength trainer, and personal trainer to decompress my spine and work on my core strength, and no surgery, no pills.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like when Western medicine fails us, we find Eastern medicine or remedies or natural ways that work way better with no side effects. And I really love that about hypnotherapy, where it's not a pill or a band-aid. It's getting to the root cause of trauma, alleviating that issue from the root, and then creates lasting change. So it's not this constant pill or therapy or whatever it may be. It alleviates them to move forward in a
Mm.
effective and efficient way.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I've had like people be a little bit afraid of hypnotherapy because they feel they lose control. I personally have done it, and I've gone through like different past life regression, mostly through, focus and memoriam. But I know it's not about losing control or anything like that. So, what would you say to someone listening, right, who is having that fear or maybe unfamiliar with past life regression? Like, how would you explain this to them, like how it works?
It's a guided meditation. So that's all this really is. It's a guided meditation. I do hypnosis every day. I do self-hypnosis where I listen to a recording from my app or another hypnotherapist or myself, a recording of myself. And hypnosis is so common, we go in and out of it 12 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Highway hypnosis is when we're driving, we think of a thought and maybe we miss our turn or even show up at a wrong location.
Yeah.
We kind of go on autopilot.
Yep.
Same as if we're watching a movie before we go to sleep, and when we wake up, we go through theta. So it's really common frequency. The thing about it, it's so powerful. It works too good, almost amazingly good. So it's like a superpower tool that we can utilize if we know how. The
Mm-hmm.
media and distractions use it every day to keep us in fear, but we can use it to get rid of limiting beliefs and go into confidence and whatever we're working on. Everyone, it's like fine tuning a car or fine tuning ourselves. What can we work on to make those improvements? So I hope I can help people know that it's not mind control. It's you controlling your mind more, and just try
Mm-hmm.
it. Give it a try. Check out my app or a recording, but it's really natural. It gives you that power nap that we need throughout the day, and
Yeah.
you never lose control. You're never asleep or unaware. You're in a heightened state of awareness, just very
Mm-hmm.
relaxed.
Well, I personally found it fun. And
Me too.
I still remember like going into it, but you're right. It was just like that. It was almost like going into the theta mode, like almost like in a sleep mode. And so it's not about like really losing control of any kind, like people think they're just gonna go completely into it and not remember anything at all. Um, so I didn't find it that way. So
Yeah.
anyway.
It's very rare. There's a spectrum of how hypnotizable you are, but all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, so you allow yourself to go deep. Everyone's experience is a little bit different. I'm just so happy when people say, "Hey, that was the most relaxed I've been in years after a
Yeah.
session." So.
Yeah. Have you had anybody go in really deep?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, it's not the people you think though. A lot of times it's someone who's really stressed, like a first
Uh,
responder, busy
gotcha.
executive, really entrepreneur. They go so deep because they're so on alert all the time that they
Oh,
never get a chance to go
got you.
that deep. So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that. Thanks for that explanation. What kinds of transformation have you seen in clients who revisit like their past lives?
And when I started this, it was out of curiosity. So I'd like to go to these sessions that went to Egypt or Atlantis or Lemuria. And
Oh,
I do
favorite
have,
spots.
yeah, sessions that go there, off-planet sessions in between lives, but most of them are Earth lives that go
Okay.
back several hundred years ago. The higher self will bring them to show them whatever is most important,
Mm-hmm.
whatever would help them the best. So usually it's a relevant past life, but for my more spiritual people like psychics and Reiki practitioners, they go back to lives from Atlantis, and those are
Interesting.
always really fascinating.
Yeah, I bet. Can you share one of them or, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll share a story. I just had a client from she lives in Los Angeles, California. She's a singer and she's afraid of Egypt. She doesn't know why.
Hmm.
Before the session, she forgot to mention that she's scared of elevators or closed spaces, and she
Yeah.
brings snacks with her to every time she goes in an elevator for
Interesting.
no explanation.
Yeah.
So we did a past life regression. Two past lives later, the third one, she went to Egypt. And in Egypt, she was this beautiful priestess who would sing using her voice.
Wow.
It was wonderful, had a great community of spiritual priestesses with her in Egypt. It was a grand Mecca, she said. It was beautiful. They did energy healing. But the pharaoh was really rude and mean and angry. She'd mentioned several times throughout that lifetime. And one day he was rude to her while he was serving her. Some altercation happened where she stood up for herself, said, "No, you can't do that to us." And he banished her to the bottom of the cellar or of the dungeon in the pyramid. So she reported being very cold. Like in the session, she was shivering,
Mm-hmm.
and they locked her in a room that was like 6 by 6 size. It was very small,
Oh
where
my
she
God.
eventually starved, explaining her fear or phobia of the elevators, closed spaces. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to text her mom every time she goes in the elevator in case she gets lost anymore. And bringing snacks with her isn't as big of a priority. So also she reports her singing voice sounds noticeably more confident.
Wow, I love that story. That is beautiful. Do you ever find though that when you do the hypnotherapy, on your clients that the lives that they're living now is kind of parallel, similar to these other past lives that they had? Like her being a singer, right? She was a singer in Egypt, in ancient Egypt also. Do you find that in most cases with your clients?
I do see a lot of patterns or cycles, and the essence of who we are, like our soul, our spirit, the essence of our character, personality, and like our not I don't want to say hobbies, but like interests, I guess,
Mhm.
attributes, that'll transfer over from body to body, but
Yeah,
your body will switch. A lot of times we've been male and female, rich and poor, dark skin, light skin, all different cultures to learn lessons, uh,
yeah.
so for our highest good, but our bodies will switch. And in that the universe is a hard teacher, so it won't let you pass the test until you get to the next level unless you pass the test. So we pursue different things. We do go through a lot of patterns or cycles. I had someone with relationship trauma, several boyfriends, not
Mhm.
good for her. In
Yeah.
past lives, she had several tough relationships, and we were able to unlock her throat chakra. It was clogged up because she wasn't speaking her truth. And after that session, she cut ties with the ex, found a new person that was mutually respectful, and
Mhm.
she reports feeling a lot better.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah. So I'm glad, yeah, because that's evidence, because I've been sensing that, that people do have that parallel lives, the repeating cycle of things, like you said, learning the lesson till you pass the test and then you can move on to the next level. But yeah, that's really cool. Now, I think I heard you mention that you've had some clients who go like had experiences in other outside the Earth. Have you had those clients, like other star seeds maybe or any galactic, beings?
Yeah, it's so most past lives are earthbound past lives, but if the client is open-minded and has, it'll bring them to what is whatever their highest good. Maybe they're not ready to see that type of thing. It won't show
Mhm.
them it. So, but if they're ready, I had a client who doesn't feel like she's like here. She's always alone, really hyper independent, but kind of lonely, feels kind of sad or left out a
Mhm.
lot. And she went into two past lives as an explorer, like a ancient astronaut explorer on another planet, where her
Interesting.
spaceship crashed, and she was left there all alone on this planet that had red skies. The
Wow.
sunset was red, and she had all this technology, but she crashed there and she was alone, and that's where she ended up dying. Um,
Interesting.
other adventures that go off planet sometimes go into the spirit realm,
Yeah.
where they're a spirit being on this planet or this realm where everything looks like crystals, and they're able to teleport back and forth.
Hmm.
And this individual said this was her first experience before she lived a mortal life. And
Mm,
she was a spirit being on this planet, but she said it was so boring. It was all neutral. Neutrality was,
yeah,
there was no lessons, challenges. So
yeah.
a light came down from the sky and asked them, it gave them a proposal. It said, "Hey, would you like, we need more souls to incarnate on Earth at this time to raise the vibration. Would you like to answer
Really?
that call?" And they said, some of them did, some of them didn't. And they took them to an attunement center where they attune them to Earth's frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to learn different lessons from a library like Akashic Records before they incarnate. And so yeah, that was her first, before she was in a physical form, she was a spirit on that realm, and now she's here on Earth, which so yeah, the attunement center was interesting because our frequency is so, everything's frequency, right? So
Yeah, it is. Wow, that is so fascinating. So they were almost like formless, like etheric type beings. Because I heard that like in ancient Lemuria, even before they had their physical bodies, and I feel this is true, this resonates what I sense, that there was a lot who didn't have like an actual body, so they were more etheric. Um,
yeah. Oh, and even our physical body in Lemuria was very translucent.
Yes,
So
translucent, that's the word.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was the dark, we're in the dark ages, or physical heaviness, right? But we go through a 26,000 year cycle around the equator. I forgot what it's called, but it's
You talking about the
illuminates.
Kali Yugas or?
I I think maybe, but it's 26,000 years and everything repeats basically. And part of that cycle is being in the Aquarius where we're headed into, but back then in Lemuria are translucent, so energy healing, sound healing, light healing, that was all super powerful because it works better if we're a being of energy. So we have
Mm-hmm.
an energy body, emotional, spiritual, and physical body. So we have all
Yeah.
those currently, but we can't see them. Even though some technology can detect auras, apparently now.
Yeah, they do. They have certain machines for that. I was talking to a friend in town who has it, and I was like trying to get her to use it. It was with another friend who just opened up a gallery. I was like, they'll be perfect to get a picture of people's aura, coming in here. It'll be fun. But I've seen those machines, and I've seen them like at, these spiritual events that people have them, and you get like a photo, picture of your aura, your whole full body aura and your chakras, and they go over like interpretation, all this other stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, there's some psychics that can see the auras and
Yeah,
stuff like that, but it's cool to see it like in color, like with your eyes too.
yeah.
But yeah, back then, I've had several sessions go to Lemuria, and they said that their skin, one client, and by the way, these sessions, they're translating them to English, and we need more words for metaphysical terms, so everything's on a direct translation. But anyway, they said they had blue skin and they were learning from a teacher that was teaching them Reiki or energy healing in a classroom when they were little. So they were
Interesting.
teaching them Reiki and
Yeah,
how to manipulate energy from like a very young age. And their
yeah.
skin was blue, and they would use crystals. They would put their energy into crystals,
Hmm.
like this obsidian that I have here, for example. And if they wanted it to stay good, they'd wrap it in a leaf or a living, not like plastic or cardboard. They put it in like a leaf, like something
Yeah.
living, and then the
Yeah.
energy would stay in it until the next person got it.
Wow, that is so cool because yeah, that definitely jives with the Lemurians, the Mu, because they were all about the crystals, right? Even Atlantis was, they used it as technology. But a lot of the cases they would encode a lot of their crystals, right? Like they call these like the Lemurian crystals that I have here, you know. So they would be encoded with, which to me is really like a quartz crystal, and they just grabbed it and encoded it with their own messages, that they left behind. And it happened to me like when I first, came to visit like Mount Chesta, I had a Lemurian crystal with me. And when I was like petting it, pretty much like I am here, like having it in my hand, I triggered something, and it must have been like some chamber of remembrance. But because it wasn't my time to know exactly what that was, it quickly shut down. Like, um, so, but yeah, so that's what so that's really interesting that you had that about the crystals, because they are like a technology, you know.
Yeah, and I've been to Shasta, and if you guys go there, I'd recommend it. It's in Northern California, and if you can't feel the energy there, wow, you're doing something wrong because it's good energy.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Yeah, so I do live in Mount Shasta, and I know a lot of my audience knows this because I talk about it a lot also. But yeah, so it's everywhere, all the energy and stuff. So
What?
planning to do around, plenty of portals around, and a lot of elemental energy as well. A lot of magic to me. It's what it feels like. But yeah, so that's really interesting that you're saying about the blue skin, because to me, what popped in my head were the Lyrans. The Lyrans themselves, star seeds, were like blue skin in a way, and a lot of the seeding that happened originally with us, on Earth, were from like the Lyrans. Um,
Really? Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, and if we think about it, everybody, that Earth is temporary, and so our soul is eternal. Where was our soul before Earth was here? And
yeah,
let's just say, for example, Earth is no more tomorrow, where our soul still has lessons to learn before it goes home to source. So we
hmm,
will need to incarnate somewhere else. But so it makes sense that spirits come from different star seeds to help raise our vibration right here.
yeah. So that's it's true though about that calling. So many of us heard that calling from other places that we were, not from Earth, and we wanted to come together here now at this moment to help uplift the vibration of the planet itself and really break this huge cycle, right? That's like called the Kali Yuga. But Yuga, I think it means cycle. And so it goes, through these different cycles. So we're really, really emphasizing a lot of this new Earth frequency, which, like you said, is all about the frequency also. So it's the frequency that we choose. And so that's really why we're all here. So it's fascinating. You picked that up from your clients, that they were getting that as well, because that's really true about why we're all being present during this time of this huge catalyst, chaos going around the world.
Yeah, it's exciting times right now. It's very challenging, but there's never been more information and resources and so many positive things too. So we got to stay,
Yeah.
they try to distract us, right, with fear and all these things,
Yeah.
uncertainty, right? But we can focus on our circle of influence, raising our
Mhm.
vibration, helping people, and be the change you wish to see in the world. Don't wait for it. Don't tell someone else to do it. Be that change and be that positive representative for your community.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to someone earlier about like, because I know she was getting frustrated to see like so many people not fully awake. And I said, well, it's not really up to us, for them if they decide not to be awake right now, all we can do is our part and work on ourselves, do our own inner work and turn the news off.
Yep. And as a hypnotherapist, I see the subliminal programming in the media, in the news
Yeah.
almost every day. It's
Yep.
nonstop. If you, but if they use it against us, so why don't we use it for us as a superpower,
Exactly.
hypnotherapy, to do self-hypnosis and alleviate our traumas? And we all have a spectrum of challenges that we go through, but it's up to us to either let it run our lives or move past
Mhm.
it into love and light and opportunity.
Yeah, brainwash yourself in a good way. Well, I call it programming, like reprogramming yourself, like more with removing old vows that no longer serve us, and being reprogrammed with new vows that do serve us, in our highest vibrational aspect. Um, so
Yep.
what would you say are some common themes though that you've seen like with people that they tend to encounter, when exploring their past lives?
What do you mean by common theme?
Like maybe patterns that you've noticed, in others, like what have been some common patterns that you've observed?
Um, well, I had a session with someone with a birthmark on their shoulder before, and they had relationship trouble. It was a man, and they were wondering why they are like that. Why does he has aches and pains on this birthmark, but he's never had an injury before?
Yeah.
We did a past life regression. He went into a past life as a Native American Indian, and he
Mhm.
was jumping across the river. He was about in his 20s. He was very fit, and he was trying to impress a girl. He was jumping across the rocks on a river, then fell in the river, went over the waterfall, broke his shoulder, and from that injury, he couldn't draw a bow like he used to or use his body because they're one with, with their body. And because of that shame, he lost the girl as well. And that trauma charged with that emotion transferred over to this lifetime as that injury. The aches and pains went away after his the birthmark was still there. And he understood why his last relationship was very similar to that past life,
Yeah, interesting.
eerily similar. And so it helped him understand why it happened and to move forward.
Wow, that's really interesting. Yeah, I've heard cases of people who've had like pains, on certain shoulders or even their arms or have, some injury, and it turns out some past life they've been shot there or like, like through an arrow or bullets or something, or they've been like in certain battles, wars. So it's really interesting how that can follow us, in these current lives as well.
Yeah, it can repeat. The cycles repeat until we pass that test. And so it's trying to teach us something. So to do these sessions is really empowering because you can find out who you are on a deep level, why you might feel that guilt or shame or whatever that emotion is. It could be a good feeling too. And we're able to undercover or get to the root cause and alleviate that using the energy healing techniques. And it can also reinforce, positive things, and it's just a really good for spiritual growth all around because if you can progress faster, that's what we're all trying to do is raise our vibration and become more enlightened and everything. So if we can do that with these sessions and it helps people grow, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it helps us to let go of certain things that we may have been holding on to subconsciously, the trauma that gets stored. Well, I like to say stored like in the DNA, a lot of the quantum field. Would you say that, what would you say is the cause, how that gets translated from life to life?
Well, there's ancestral trauma from our DNA, that's our lineage,
Yeah.
and that has been shown with epigenetics to transfer over. And there's also the soul or the spirit of who you were prior to this lifetime. When that transfers over, the what happens here is the subconscious is trying to protect us from dying. So if we touch a stove when we're a kid, our our hand won't go near the stove anymore because it hurt us so bad that it won't want to even go near that again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I was a kid, I fell off a sailboat when I was 5. I didn't want to go on sailboats for 15 years because I was scared of sailboats I
Yeah.
didn't know why though, consciously. So our subconscious holds on to, it's like a firewall and it holds on to things and it's not rational or logical. It speaks in colors and light and shapes. And so when we do these sessions, we speak to it in its own language and we're
Mm-hmm.
able to uplift it, alleviate things it's holding on to. And The Body Keeps Score is a good psychology book most psychology people have to read. And it says that their emotion gets trapped in your body until it gets released. And that's what we do with your work and most energy healing practitioners, which is why it's so amazing and powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, it's truly amazing though, like how, this stuff like really works when it comes to our healing and exploring other areas within ourselves, which is, something I always emphasize, know thyself, because with those connections, of our past lives, that includes our ancestor and karmic and so many things, right? That's part of that excavation. I use the term excavation of ourselves, there's a lot of hidden gems around there. So how does accessing like the subconscious connect us to deeper purpose. Unlock your limitless potential with the monthly multiversal circle of creation. This sacred quantum manifestation ritual will awaken your inner power and connect you to the successful versions of yourself across the multiverse. Clear blocks, amplify your creative energy, and set powerful intentions for abundance, love, and possibilities. Activate your galactic aspects, recalibrate your nervous system, and manifest your dreams with cosmic clarity. Available in person and via Zoom. Join us for this transformative experience today.
Well, 95% of our lives are run by our subconscious. So we make decisions when we're very young to think a certain way or be the way we want to be, or those lessons are learned when we're young. All children operate in theta frequency, the frequency of hypnosis, until age 8, from 0 to 8.
Interesting.
And well, it's what is it? Evolving, or it's how the humans can adapt. And so we're learning to be adults. We're getting programmed for the real world,
So
or
it's developing like, like,
yeah, we're like absorbing things. So
yeah,
we can learn multiple languages very quickly.
yeah.
So kids oftentimes or sometimes can remember their past life memories.
Yeah, it's true. I've seen cases like that.
They're really fascinating because, I don't know why that my clients aren't as fascinating. I think because they're adults and they could like make that up if they wanted. But
Mhm.
for a kid that's 4 years old to say, hey, I was on a plane crash when I was in the military and I died, and this is my platoon number, street address, name, friend's name,
It's
where are
like,
they
where
getting
did you
these
get
facts
that?
from? Right.
Exactly. That is really fascinating.
Yeah, so the kids sometimes they can recall that they'll get nightmares. So if you're a parent, be open-minded to it. I've done sessions with kids on from 12 to 18 years
Oh,
old. I have
you
a
have?
parent in the room. They're
Nice.
actually really good at this because they're so open-minded. They just think it's
Yeah,
normal. And
yeah.
we go into their past lives. They're seeing vivid scenes. I'm doing a session with an adolescent next month with the parent, and because they think the parent thinks they have past lives with the kid. So they're really into it. But anyway, so children, that's why a lot of adults have trauma from childhood, unfortunately, guys, because when we're little, if someone tells us we're not good enough, that stays with us, unfortunately. And those lessons we learn when we're young, an elephant, they put a 6-inch stake in the ground and it goes around a rope. And even though the elephant grows older and as an adult, it could easily rip the stake out, it knows from when it was programmed that this is my radius that I can go in. So we learn
Hmm.
these things when we're little and we can't let them go. So that's what hypnosis in the subconscious mind helps people overcome.
Yeah, I love that. Um, have you had any cases of people who had like afraid of heights? That's been like one of the common things, I hear a lot from people. They're afraid of heights or they're afraid of going in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, I had just had a session. I actually fell off a roof when I was a carpenter in Arabia when I was, and so I'm actually afraid of heights. I almost fell off a ladder twice in this
Mm,
lifetime.
wow.
Um, and then I had a session two weeks ago with a lady who was afraid of water. She's never been swimming. She's actually so afraid of water.
Yeah.
And what happened in the past lives, we went to two past lives with water. One, she was on an island in Greece, and she was a Greek island. She was a not a priestess there, but someone with a spiritual community.
Hmm.
And she's been there in this lifetime, actually. And she said when she was there, it felt like home. But she realized in the past life journey, she wasn't remembering the vacation she went on. She was recalling something completely different based on the architecture.
Mm,
So, as she was leaving the island to go somewhere else, she was also struggling with relationship trauma, and she was happy that she was alone and she didn't need to be with a man to be find that love. So, these sessions help us alleviate the phobias and stuff, but it also there's a deeper meaning we're doing these, and that's
hmm.
like getting unstuck, grief. It's really
Yeah.
important. So she was in the bottom of a ship. She was leaving the island, and the ship sank, and the bottom of the ship filled up. There was things floating around, and she took her last breath. at the bottom of the ship. And the next past life, she was in an indigenous tribe in the Philippines, and she was going to be the leader of the tribe, but the old leader was passing away, and he said, "You need to be careful. In the next 2 years, there's something coming." And so they
Mm-hmm.
prepared the tribe for war. They got battles, things ready, and they did what they could. However, instead of a war, it was a tsunami that came and wiped
Oh,
everyone out, unfortunately, and she drowned. Yeah. So
oh,
two past lives, and now I haven't talked to her since, but she said she feels safer around water, knowing the deeper root cause, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's amazing how that works. How about people with like fear of heights? Have you had any cases like that? Any other clients besides you? I mean,
Yeah, I have mine. I can't recall any right now, and I want to make sure they're all legitimate. And so
yeah, yeah.
but yeah.
Well, I'll tell you though, like for me, like I haven't done a hypnotherapy on it, but I do remember as I get visions of it. Um, I had an extreme fright of like height, you know. And I used to get like really sweaty palm, like, go like some of these ski lodges, just being on that thing going up. I mean, my hands would go to extreme like sweat, like, and even like can't even watch TV like people on heights and all this other stuff. But I remember that I was, I think, at a mountaintop and talking to the crowd, and somehow, because during this, and it was around like the dark ages, this is when a lot of things happened, especially to a lot of light workers, and people who were like very different and really fit in and had all these abilities, and people just didn't, just frowned on it. And so that's how I died, just being like, on these mountains, like, so killing me that way from extreme height. So some of the images that I get is from like, the Cathars, like in France, where they had like many of them did jump from the mountain when they were invaded. So, and some of those like, connections with the Knight Templars as well. So I remember some of this stuff. So I feel like a lot of those like fear of heights comes from there. So I had
Hmm.
to like make peace with it, in my own way, to let it go. So now it's not as extreme as it used to be, where I would get like really sweaty palm, like um,
It's good to get I'm glad you found out the reason because that can affect us. And there's a really good past life regressionist called Roger Woogler, and
hmm
he has several books, and a lot of times he'll bring people to their past lives by tapping into that feeling. So we would do a meditation.
hmm
I'd ask you to think about that feeling over and over again. And then we would go into a different place, a different time, a different person, and you would be into that past, like going into that past life, which I think is a really interesting approach
yeah,
compared to QHHT, which is Dolores Cannon's method
yeah,
of, so yeah, yeah. So it's very, very meaningful. So yeah.
yeah, because there's ways that we can also access ourselves, and tap into our remembrance through our soul. We all have the ability, but
I
of
think
course,
everyone can do this. And that's why I want to help promote it more because I
mhm,
really think everyone has past lives and they can do this. It's like gravity. If you don't believe in it, it's still there. It's a universal law. It's safer to have a guide with you because
yeah,
and more productive because we can
yeah,
go to the meaningful scenes, release that emotion that's stuck, and in case something unexpected happens, a guide can be there to support you. I'm basically the tour bus driver and you're on the bus looking at
hmm
the scenes and
But
so
it's nice to have a little treat. I call it a self-investment, right? When you go up and call Jonathan, right? Be like, Jonathan, can I get a hypnotherapy session from you? It's because you're actually receiving, you're allowing yourself to receive. So I see that as like a form of self-care, which ties back to your own self-love. So I see these things, self-investment. So you're right. It's good to have, a guide, especially when you're doing it for the first time, to really invest in someone like you.
yeah. Yeah, it's good to it's good to pick someone you resonate with and has
Yeah, exactly.
experience.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the sessions should be all about the client, all about them. I'm 100% dedicated to
Yeah.
making that happen, and they should get to know you before the session. And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you can do it on your own, and that's great. But it's mostly going in the shallow end, I'd say. But if you want to do a deep dive and one-on-one session, you can treat yourself too.
Definitely. Yeah, this is really fascinating. Now I know you have an app coming out soon. It's called the Journey into the Subconscious. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, so journeys into the subconscious. I do hypnosis every day, and I was like, how can I do this every day but get custom sessions that I don't have to pay someone, one, to go to one-on-one, and two, a lot of these sessions on YouTube aren't very good, unfortunately. So I created an app. It's like nothing else out there. It's custom sessions. You can create journeys. So there'll be quick sessions that you can do. There'll be journeys like a journey in your past lives. There's a bunch of other features, but the cool thing about it, it's affordable. I wanted, since I do this with people from all over the world, unfortunately a lot of people just can't afford a one-on-one session. It's several hours, it's a lot of time and energy. But with
Yeah.
the app, you will be able to do it on your own time. And I want you guys to put your intention into it, just like you paid someone $100 or whatever it may be, into it, and you'll get the full benefit from it.
Wow, that's pretty creative, innovative, for this app. When are you planning to launch it again?
It should be launched by at least by the time this podcast comes
When this
out.
episode comes out.
So
Okay.
find it on Apple or Apple, Android, or my website, journeysintopastlives.com. And
Okay.
in a few months, I'm doing a hypnosis training. So a lot of people read the books and they're fascinated by it, like I was, and then they want to actually do hypnosis on other people. So
Mhm.
I certify people to be a hypnosis
Oh, nice.
certified hypnotherapist, and we're going to focus on the metaphysical, the past life, regression, also social media, marketing, and everything like that.
Wow, very nice. It's exciting. So I'll definitely have all of Jonathan's contact information in these episode notes for those who are interested in reaching out to Jonathan. But as we are, wrapping up for this episode, Jonathan, do you have any final thoughts for us that you want to share?
Be the change you wish to see in the world. That's my favorite quote, and I that that's my final thought on that. But hypnotherapy wise, just try it. It's like a guided meditation. It's really easy. It's not what you think it is. Most people say, and give it a shot.
Beautiful. Yeah, and that's my favorite quote too, be the change you want to be. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this episode, but let us know your thoughts and I will catch you another episode. But I want to give you thanks, Jonathan, for being here as a special guest and sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you. And if you haven't checked out our other episodes, there's a lot of awesome spiritual people, a lot of cool stuff on there, guys. Check them out.
Oh, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like, save, and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes. And I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.